fellow mathematicians, I am the Mathemacoder, and welcome to the second class of mathematics. This time we will officially start our first topic. So first of all, we have a new class structure. We have 5 new rules. Well, not rules. We're in YouTube right now, and First of all, we're going to take an appropriate amount of notes because notes will always help you. And if we're introducing a new topic that you never know, rewatching a lecture is not going to help you. Reviewing notes is. 2, we're going to try our best. 3, we're going to do the problems I show on the screen. 4, we're going to have to pay attention because I'm going to go through things pretty fast sometimes. And 5, we're going to have fun. You're on YouTube. It's a simple video. You can just quit playing and look at some Minecraft or something. I'm not sure. Okay, so an announcement really. I haven't uploaded for a long time, like 6, 7, 8 months. I'm not sure, and I'm very sorry for that. I've had a lot going on, and I have brand new fun lectures for you guys with a new class structure, so that's pretty neat. Let's get started. So of course, here is our new class structure. We're going to begin with an announcement, usually on slide 2, which is the one you just saw over here. We're going to introduce a topic and subtopics. We're going to answer last video's challenge problem, which in this case we don't have one because it's the first video with the new class structure. We're going to do some lecture and practice problems. And finally, we're going to introduce a challenge problem. The challenge problem may be hard, and we're going to get to that later. So here's the topics for today. We'll be lecturing on algebra for the next 5 videos. This time, we'll cover the basics and do less math as a little bit more talking than usual, and we'll talk more about the backgrounds of algebra in later classes, and in this class, of course. First of all, we're going to know what is algebra, which fundamental, and we're going to get to know different terms, understanding algebra, where to use algebra, branches in algebra, and finally, here is where the math pops up. We're going to learn on how to solve linear equations. I'm going to get my pen here. How to solve simple linear equations. Let's go. First of all, what is algebra? Algebra is the branch of mathematics, well, we're still doing math, that deals with symbols and the rule for manipulating those symbols. Oh dear. It involves studying relationships and structures using variables like x or y, which is really common, also a and b, m and n, a lot, to represent numbers or other objects. Algebra extends beyond simple equations to more complex topics such as polynomial expressions, which we will cover, functions, which we also will cover, and system of equations, which we'll also cover. It is fundamental for many areas of math and is used in everything from solving everyday problems to advanced scientific research. Let's do some practice. It's just going to be simple questions. True or false? Algebra is a branch of mathematics that involves you in shapes, line, and dimensions. And 2, algebra is involved in studying relationships using what to represent numbers in equations. Pause the video now and just shout it out loud. Okay, let's see, did you get them correct? First of all, it's false that what I was talking about in the question is geometry, and second is variables. As you can see here, we're using variables to represent numbers or other objects. Pretty basic. And now for some different terms. First of all, a variable, a symbol, which is often a letter, that represents an unknown number or value. For example, in the equation x plus 2 equals 5, x is the variable. You can also do some weird like delta or alpha or these weird symbols and everything like that. A coefficient is a number that multiplies a variable. For example, in 3x equals 12, 3 is the coefficient. A constant is a fixed value that does not change. For example, x plus 10 equals 3x, the number 10 is a constant. Next, an equation is a mathematical and sometimes scientific, we use it in science, statement that shows two expressions are equal. It is often written in the form of expression 1 is equal to expression 2, like 34 plus x cubed equals 9 or something like that. I'm just, randomly. As long as there's an equal sign, that's an equation. Number 5, an expression. It is a combination of variables, numbers, and operators without an equality sign. For example, 2x plus 32x plus 45x plus 1 is an expression. Next, a term. It is a single mathematical expression. It can be a number, a variable, or a combination of both. For example, 5x, 25y, 98z, 2, and x are all terms. Now here's my question. Is 2x plus 4y a term? I don't know if you said it, but it is not a term. It is a single mathematical expression. For example, it has to be connected by a multiplying sign. A linear equation. An equation which is the highest power of the variable is 1, so no exponents. For example, 2x plus 3 equals 7 is a linear equation. Now here's my question again. Is this x squared plus 4x minus 4 equals 21 a linear equation? No, it is not, because there is a power. Let's do some practice. True or false? Both of them. In the equation, oh my goodness, I don't know what happened to all these equal signs, but get rid of this part here. This extra. 3x plus 5 equals 203x plus 5, which is clearly not true. The number 5 is a coefficient. True or false? An equation is a mathematical statement that indicates that two expressions are not equal. I'm not sure if you get that, but let's see the answers. It is both false. Remember, coefficient is something that has to be multiplied to a variable in the back here. And also, that wasn't completely correct. This is not true. X could be 0. Anyway, let's continue. So now let's understand some algebra. An equation is a statement that asserts the equality of two expressions, and solving it involves isolating the variable through balance operations. Functions describe relationships between variables and can be represented in various forms, including equations and graphs. Utilizing resources, textbooks, online tutorials, can greatly aid in learning, and it is important to approach algebra with patience and persistence. So let's see what do we know here. Linear equations, we covered that in our previous vocabulary, which is, right here, an equation which the highest power of the variable is 1, and the graph of a linear equation, like in the name, is a straight line. These we will cover later. This one pretty soon, actually, the quadratic. And here we go for some uses of algebra, usages. Algebra allows us to represent relationships between quantities using symbols and letters, enabling us to formulate equations that can be manipulated to find unknown values. In everyday life, algebra is studied in various fields such as finance, for calculating interest rates, in engineering, for designing structures, and in science, for analyzing data trends. Moreover, it fosters critical thinking and problem-solving skills, making it essential not only in academic settings, but also in everyday decision-making and planning. By understanding algebraic concepts, individuals can navigate complex scenarios and make informed choices based on quantitative analysis. A lot of talking, but this is not math, just background knowledge. Again, today we're just going over the simples. Here we go. Now we're actually getting into some math. To solve a simple linear equation, we gotta first examine, this is my way of doing it when I wrote the PowerPoint, we're gonna first examine the two sides of the equation. We're gonna ask ourselves the golden question: is there a variable on the both sides? For example, let's take a look at this linear equation. We see an x and we see an x. We can't solve it. We have to isolate the variable to one side. So let's see how we do that. We're gonna subtract, can I change the thickness of this? I cannot. We're gonna subtract 3x on both sides, which is essentially moving the variable on one side by subtracting 3x. This cancels out, and 7x minus 3x is 4x. and this eventually will get us 5 equals 4x minus 12. We're going to move the constants to one side by adding 13, and by adding, this should say 13 here, by adding 13, and if we add 13 here, must be in a typo. If we add 13 here, we're going to get 18 equals 4x. Now we're going to divide both sides by 4, like so. And we have our answer. 9 over 2, 4 and 1/2, or 4.5 is equal to x. And here we go. Here is some more questions. Here we have a collection of simple linear equations. Pause the video, try some on your own, and I have the steps, the solutions, the answer for all of them. I have steps for 1, 3, 4, and 10 on the next slides. If you still don't understand, comment down below, make sure to do that, which questions you find confusing or you got incorrect, and I'll explain next time. Okay, hopefully that was enough time for you to pause the video. Let's see the answers. Here are the answers. Here are the answers to the questions I just showed. Here are the solutions, and here is the steps. So number 1, we're going to subtract 3 from both sides to get 2x equals 8 divided by 2, x equals 4. Number 3, we're going to subtract 4 to both sides, again isolating the variable term. We're going to get this to 3z equals 6 divided by 3, z equals 2. We're going to have 4a subtract 2 equals 6, plus 2 on both sides, 4a equals 8, and divide 8 by 4, a equals 2. We're going to have 10c plus 5 equals 35. We're going to subtract 5 from both sides, 10c equals 30, and divide by 10, c equals 3. Really simple, basically the same thing, but it's going to get a lot more complicated, so we'll make sure we have a good base. And now we're going to approach the end of this lecture. We're going to rise to the challenge. The challenge is a 2019 AMC, American Mathematical Competition 8, problem 7, and the choices are modified by me. Let's read the question. Shauna takes 5 tests, each worth a maximum of 100 points. I don't know why there are dollar signs here. Her scores on the first 3 tests are 76 points, 94 points, and 87 points. In order to average 81 points on all 5 tests, what is the lowest score she could possibly earn on one of the 2 other tests? And I will post the answer in the beginning of next class, but I'm nice, so I gave you some hints. The challenge problem does involve guessing and checking at the very last step. At that time, my way did. If you did a different way, you don't have to. And read the problem again carefully. The problem is indeed approachable with a linear equation, but not necessarily one variable. And you can have different ways. I'm just saying it's one way to do it with a linear equation. You can guess and check the whole way. You can do logical reasoning. Logical reasoning is actually the better way to do this. And finally, make sure you have some prior knowledge with arithmetic means and averages. And if you don't know, the average score is just you add them all up divided by how many numbers are there. So in this case, there's 5 tests. There's going to be A plus B plus C plus D plus E. That is a 6. Okay, pretend that's an E divided by 5. Okay, I'm going to erase this and let you guys take a screenshot or do it right now. Okay, and that sums the class up. So thank you all for listening, and again, I apologize for not uploading. I will upload more lectures more frequently now, and see you guys next time.